Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Post Fight. And in this edition of Post Fight, I'll be doing Post Fight UFC 292 Sterling versus O'Malley. And typically with this series, let's just focus on the L's and stuff, whatnot. Like kind of recap the card, but really focusing on L's and then highlighting the main event. If I got it right, I would still highlighting the main event. If I got it wrong, it's always gonna be highlights. But mainly focusing on L's and then the main event. Like the main event's right, I'll still focus on it. Main wrong, I'll focus on it, but I will focus on all the wrong picks. That's the point of this series, I guess. Yeah, so I went 9-3 or 9 of 12, solid card. No matter what you want to say, solid card. If it's this way or that way or whatever you want to lean to, it's a solid card. No matter what type of rabbit you want to pull out of a hat, it's a solid card. But yeah, it's not really a whole lot to draw from most of the L's. To be honest, I can see where they went wrong, or the silver lining, or whatever I want to see, the connected dots, the trail mix. And another thing I could say for this card is, what else do for this card? Oh yeah, Nikki Betts. I know a lot of people say like, well, I don't agree. I don't really agree with the 1.5s, all those predictions being over 1.5 and whatnot. But no matter you agree or disagree, most of them went over 1.5. So shout out to him. So most of them went over 1.5. So you can't really say too much. Like if it's right, it's right. Even if it don't sound right from the jump, if it ends up being right, it's right. At least in that particular day. So solid him. So you can't say, hey, give nothing but the props. Give the props. And yeah, but back with this one. I went 9-3, 9 of 12, solid card. And focus on the first L. The first L was I think it was Hubbard versus Hubbard. That was the first L, I believe. Yep. And I'm not gonna talk too much about this one, but yeah, Hubbard and Hubbard. Yeah, tongue twister for me, I guess. But yeah, Hubbard and Hubbard. Hubbard was just the better man. Yes, he was smaller. Well, not smaller. He was a smaller man, and he was the older man, like 36 versus like 31, and had a one. I don't think he has a single win in the UFC prior to tonight. But nonetheless, he got it done. He was size didn't matter. It was like, yes, you're bigger, but not by much. And ultimately, technique prevails over everything. So technique over everything. So you could be, bigger unless it's like really that much bigger. And it's also not like Hubbard had a clear path. He was the less technical striker. He might have been the bigger guy, and could have used that to his wrestling to help him through the first round a bit. But ultimately, he can really piece together a good game plan or a good path to victory. Especially when Hubbard started to get going on the feet. He started landing strikes, kept finding that right hand, and kept tagging with it. And then it started to go downhill from there. Once he started finding that time, like at that point, it became a case of where Hubbard was just prolonging the fight or just prolonging the inevitable way. But that's what it started to look like. But yeah, good win for Hubbard. If I'm gonna be honest with this one, I really care about this fight. As I said, low confidence, whatnot. So it is what it is. But yeah, like no shade to either of these fighters, but I just don't see either of them. I don't see either of them really doing much in the UFC. Hubbard's 36. Hubbard's 36. Nothing really truly impressive about him. He got a solid skill set, solid. He trains well and whatnot. He got the skills to match the experience and all that he has accomplished and all that he has dealt with. But yeah, 36. I don't see nothing about him that's going to keep him in the UFC. I see him struggling to get wins in the UFC, and being quickly put out the UFC yet again, and probably retiring afterwards. And then on the other side of Hubbard, he's 31. He got more time in the game left, but it's not like his striking nowhere near elite, his grappling's nowhere near elite. And he's going to run into a wall pretty quickly. So it's like both these guys are going to end up being cut again, and probably most of the guys on the season probably going to end up being cut. I think the only one who probably got a decent chance, well, at this weight class, I think the only one who got a decent chance to try to turn their career around is really Roosevelt Roberts, who I really feel already beat Austin Hubbard. He probably has the best chance of the lightweights on the season to actually have a decent enough UFC career. But I ain't giving him much chance either, but I would definitely say I would be super surprised if he actually turned around and had a decent, long UFC career if they gave him another shot. But other guys, nah. Hubbard, no. And yeah, who else? It was a fight prior to this. But yeah, that guy who won, he gonna do well. But can't remember names right now, so I'm gonna jump to the next one, the next L. And the next L was Damon Blackshear versus Mario Batista. Originally, I was leaning Mario Batista. Could the judges have leaned to Damon Blackshear and just have made any I guess foresight not matter? I guess definitely could have, because the fight could have went either way. And so in that case, it wasn't that a bad dog pick, but it was a bad dog pick given the fact that it is a high, elite competitive match on paper and was actually in practice. Then on top of that, Dane Blackshear was taking a big step up in competition from where he had been fighting, in the UFC. His UFC fights he had won. It was a big step in competition. Then he was taking on like 5, 6, 7 days notice after already fighting. And he had to cut weight. Then he had to return, cut, and make weight again. It was just a hard sell. Like, you're doing that back to back, it's taking a big step. Everything just like you're doing too much. It was a case like maybe that big opponent was coming on short notice to fight you, or y'all just both were set up to fight each other from the jump, and y'all had like 2-3 months to fight, but already all the factors like, oh yeah, this guy's the highest level of competition you have fought inside the UFC. It's on 7 days notice. You already fought. You already just fought and had to cut weight. Now you cut away again. It was like, it was smart money should have been on Batista, but nonetheless it was a close fight. And you could argue that Damon Blackshear won, but yeah, it is what it is. I can't feel too bad about anything. And also I know that Blackshear's tendency to fade, and we saw him fade in third round, but that also could be attributed to, again, returning so soon, cutting weight twice in that short span of time. But yeah, ultimately can't feel too bad about the one. It was a very close fight. Could have went either way, and Damon Blackshear definitely could have won it. So it's not a whole case about, you just made such a bad pick. It's a terrible pick based on the fact that, again, he returning so soon, taking a big step in competition, and doing on short notice after just fighting like a couple days prior to accepting that fight. So that's bad. But as far as the actual matchup and stylistically wise, yeah, not bad at all. And ultimately, how I feel about the fight, I don't feel bad about necessarily the outcome, because it was a very close fight. And yeah, third L, the final L, was the main event. Sterling versus OMalley. OMalley was able to pull counter and drop Sterling to finish him off with some ground and pound. The fight probably could have continued going, but I think the outcome would have been the same. Like, even if Sterling would have been able to hold onto a leg for a little bit and then, get his bearings about him, or, just survive by the hair of his chinny chin chin and make it to the third round, I think it was inevitable. Like, he had 2 attempts, like, he was on OMalley. Like, he was working on a takedown. Like, at the end of the first round, couldn't get it. It was only 20 seconds. Second round, like, I think it was early on, he got the takedown. Well, he was trying to go for a takedown, but OMalley was able to defend the takedown and get back to space. Like, OMalley was just not really super threatened by his wrestling at all. He was respected and he trained hard for it, but I don't think Sterling was ever really close to any takedowns in this fight. Like, he only shot for 2 takedowns, but he was never close to either of those takedowns. And OMalley defended it very cleanly with good composure. On the feet, Sterling was landing his little kicks and stuff and whatnot. It was keeping the striking total close, but it's only inevitable when it's not just purely a case of, not taking nothing from Sterling, not taking nothing from OMalley, but in the weaknesses of Sterling, he does have a tendency to make very sloppy mistakes on the feet, and he could call it funk, but it's this sloppy lack of technique. And I don't think at this point in his career, this old dog is not going to learn any new tricks or get that much cleaner about his striking. But he knew not to reach for against OMalley. He did it anyway, got caught. I think at a couple points he was dipping his head very low, just doing very awkward stuff. Like, he looked like he might get caught with a stepping knee or a flying knee or a front kick or something. Like, he's doing some awkward defense motions. And then he ultimately got finished because he overcommitted on the feet, reaching for something, and knowing that OMalley's just looking for a counter. But yeah, if like Sterling can't get a takedown or can't really get no effective grappling in there or effective cage control or nothing there, it's only a matter of time before he would make some sloppy mistake, and OMalley would be able to make him pay for it. And the moment he made a big sloppy mistake on the feet, overcommitted, he paid for it. And yeah, can't get a takedown. All it's going to lead to is you making the same sloppy mistakes you get away with against other people, and OMalley made you pay for it. But yeah, like, focus on the L of this right here. one thing I guess say the trend is like a lot of strikers. It's becoming a lot more strikers as champion these days. Then in the past like wrestlers dominated, but now people realize like if I could defend a takedown, just work on defend this takedown. I got a guy who's below amateur at striking in front of me, and I can pick them apart. That's what it's looking like in a lot of these weight classes. So you see Jamal Hill become the light heavyweight champion, Jerry Prohaska become the light heavyweight champion. You see Adesanya become champion. You see Pereira become champion. Well, Pereira beat Adesanya to become champion, but Pereira's up now at light heavyweight. He's beat Jan Blachowicz and whatnot. So you're seeing a lot of strikers becoming, really doing well in the sport now, or doing well in the UFC, in the sport in general. But in the UFC, we focus on the organization of UFC doing well in the UFC as well, in particular. But yeah. I guess what could I have learned from this one? Or what could I have foresight or hindsight? What could I say about this one? All I can say is good win for OMalley. I would definitely was saying like the odds weren't right. I knew it was a very close competitive fight, at least on paper. I mean, in practice, not practice, but the fight actually wasn't all that close, to be honest. Sterling had, probably won the first round, but he can really get nothing off that was effective throughout this fight. It was a short fight, only one round and like a minute or something, one round in a minute, like 6-minute fight. Sterling got starched, but not starched. It was starched would be out the gates, get knocked out. It was like he won a round and then overcommitted and got finished. But yeah, I can't really say this is a learning lesson, to be honest. Except it's a trend thing, and also OMalley is a good fighter, and I'm definitely wasn't on the bandwagon. I'm just saying OMalley's trash and OMalley's not this. I know OMalley's good, and obviously now he's good, but yeah. I guess maybe I could have focused on the age a little bit more, and the fact that it's not a case of like Sterling just full mixed martial artist. Like he's pretty much kind of falls into, he could throw some volume on the feet, but he very much kind of falls more into the one-dimensional category. Ain't no real threat on the feet at all. So if OMalley could take away that one tool away from him, he's a sitting duck. So maybe I could have leaned to that angle a little bit, but ultimately I didn't feel too bad about it. I felt I put my average confidence was a good read for this one. Based on all that Sterling has accomplished. And also how the takedown defense of OMalley didn't look the best against Jan. But then again, Jan has the striking threat that you got to respect, whereas whereas Sterling doesn't have that. So it's a different ball game. But yeah, good win for OMalley. Finally the champion. Gonna be interested to see this Sugar era, if it is anything, if maybe Sanhagen doesn't stop it early, or Rob Dvalishvili really doesn't stop it before it gets going. But good win for him. A solid card for me. 9-3, 9-12, solid card. Yeah, that's really all I can say for this one. Gonna be interested to see these fights going forward. It's the shake. Basically now that there's a new champion, the division gonna shake up. Gonna be interested to see that. They're probably gonna try to rematch them possibly, or maybe Aljamain just gonna go to 45 in the next fight. And I think that I don't know if that'd be the smartest move, because I don't think he'll do that well at 45. He could probably stick around 35, or he could try to get a rematch or whatnot. But I don't think a rematch would be good for him. I think he gets TKO'd again probably easier. First, and then 45, like he really ain't got nothing for Volkanovski. Maybe he could try to just end his contract and go to ONE FC and fight Mighty Mouse. That'd be a good fight for him. And he could potentially win that one. I think that's a good stylistic match for him. I'm not gonna say he would win. I probably would lean Mighty Mouse, at least right now. But I think that'd be a potential good fight for him. But in the UFC, I just think now they don't have the belt, and he talking about going away. I just think his options are looking very limited, especially now that you lost the belt. It's not like you relinquished the belt by your own choice and now going up, and you got that perk. So like I left as a champion. I'm the what's it called, the lineal champion at this weight club of the bantamweight division. Now I'm bringing that up to fight Volkanovski. Like now he got no angle to come up. Probably got to fight like a Yair or whatnot. He probably could beat Yair, probably. Maybe the remnants of Korean Zombie, but Korean Zombie retiring after the Holloway fight, so he says. There's some people he definitely could beat in that top 10, 15, but top 5, well, I think Yair's still in top 5, so he could beat some people, but I don't know. I definitely just don't think he's not an interesting challenger or no interesting sell for Volkanovski at all. Is a title challenger or is a fight or a matchup for him. But yeah, that's the video. I think I said it a couple times now, or a bunch of times now. But yeah, what 9-3 or 9-12, solid card, and just gonna looking to continue this momentum. I don't know why I just glitched. Like, am I a TikTok NPC? I don't know, but gonna look to continue this momentum, get better, get sharper. And for the dog lovers, gonna hope to sprinkle some more dogs in there and to hit more of these dogs. And yeah, more money, more wins, more wins. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.